It's pretty clear that despite the fact that Donald Trump has cratered, Republican, their brand has cratered, the Democratic brand has not recovered, and it's because
what are you talking about? What is the Democratic
trust.
Approval rating? Come on, be honest, brother. Come on, what's the Democratic approval rating and what's Donald Trump's? Come on, man.
So Scott and I actually might agree on part of this. The Democratic effort is very much dependent upon rebuilding trust with voters. And I think the way you do that is you show that you have the ability to fight, you show you have a consistent thing to say. And I think that's in progress. And I think Democrats would be wise to not ignore that, but to lean into the opportunity to do that. There's a reason why Republicans are rigging the rules right now so that they can steal a couple of extra seats going into the 2026 midterms. But that has nothing to do with what Democrats need to do in terms of rebuilding trust with the public. And I think the opportunity is there for them to do that. And the urgency to do that is right now.
And Scott, just looking ahead to 2026, look, you have that, the stats Harry was talking about, but, when Donald Trump's not on the ballot for Republican, he really juices the elections for the Republicans. The people who will never vote otherwise tend to show up and vote for Donald Trump. What do Republicans do to make sure that while Democrats are trying to get it together, that they can hang on to the House?
Let me just correct one issue. Donald Trump is not cratered. If anybody's cratered, the Democratic Party, 33% in the Wall Street Journal poll. There's another one where they're at 19%. Trump at worst is in the mid-40s. The Republican brand is in a lot stronger position than the Democratic brand. That's number one. Number two, you're absolutely right about the Republicans or the voters who only vote for Trump. I'm not sure they consider themselves to be members of either party. And it is imperative that the Republicans convert them into regular vote time and again. So I would say, honestly, Jessica, this is project number one for the Republican Party for the midterms, is you have to make an argument. If you like Donald Trump and you turned out for Donald Trump, if the Democrats win in November, it's all going to go away. All the progress that you're for is going to stop if Democrats win the election. That's probably the best argument they have. And the only person who can really make it is Trump himself, and I suspect he's going to have his shoulder to the wheel for the midterm.
And Jessica, let me just say, I would love if Donald Trump said, if you like Donald Trump, vote for Republicans next year. Scott, please tell your friends at the NRSC and NRCC to tell them to say that, please.
All right, Scott, Joel.
I'm sure they will, but I gotta ask. Do you admit that the Democrats have at best 33 and probable more like 19% approval rating? Do you admit you've seen the polling, or you didn't see it before you came on?
I saw the polling, and I'd be concerned that Democrats still have a plus 5% chance in ballot choice next year, even with that polling. So I'd be really concerned if I was a Republican.
All right. We got to leave it there. Scott and Joel, our thanks to both of you.
Look, the Democratic brand right now has about the appeal with the American voter as the Cracker Barrel rebrand has with the American consumers. Bad. What are you doing? Oh, my goodness gracious. What are we talking about here in terms of big party registration changes in the key swing states? Let's look at the key 4 swing states that, in fact, do keep track of registration by party. Look, the Republican Party is in their best position at this point in the cycle since at least 2005. In all 4 of these key battleground states, we go out to the Southwest. Arizona. How about Nevada? Republicans haven't done this well since 2005. Oh, my goodness gracious, at this point in the cycle. North Carolina, I couldn't find a point at which Republicans were doing better at this point in the cycle. It's at least this century. It probably goes way back in the last century. And Pennsylvania, very similar. Republicans doing better at this point than at any point this century, at least as far as I could find. Now, what types of gains are we talking about here for the Republican Party? Well, let's compare it to this point during the first Trump administration all the way back in 2017. Look at this. The Republican Party gains in party registration compared to this point back in 2017 during the Trump first administration. In Arizona, you got a Republican gain of 3 points. Okay, how about Nevada? Up the hill we go, even though we're sticking in the Southwest. A gain of 6 points. How about, again, we come to the East Coast, North Carolina, a gain of 8 points for the Republicans. And in the Keystone State, in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, again, we're talking about a gain of 8 points. My goodness gracious, for Republicans, they are converting old former Democrats to their side of the ledger, as well as picking up new voters, registering new voters, and it absolutely paid off for them back in the 2024 election.